Welcome to Naseby. It's the QRC Winter Games New Zealand Mixed Doubles Curling Tournament, fueled by Forsyth Barr. We're through the round robin phase. We started with 12 teams. Now it's the playoffs. We're down to the final 6. Our feature game for you this afternoon, the classic Trans-Tasman rivalry. It will be Australia taking on New Zealand. Joined by Team Australia, Dean Hewitt, Tally Gill, into the playoffs where they'll be facing New Zealand. Dean, Talia, what are you expecting in today's game?
I think it's going to be a real tight one. Again, we had such a big battle against Ben and Jess before, and I know these guys are playing really, really good out there, so I think it's going to be a real tight game.
Talia, you've made some big shots through the week, and now we're in the playoffs, and the pressure creeps higher because more on the line. Does that change your mindset anymore when you're jumping into the hack to throw that last one?
It plays a little bit, but it's just about focusing on the processes and keeping keywords and, yeah, just keeping it as simple as possible.
For the fans that are just watching this new to curling, but they're really used to the Australia-New Zealand Trans-Tasman rivalry, does it bring a little bit of an extra edge, or is it just another game with your mates?
It's a tough one. I think there is always that little extra edge no matter what against New Zealand, but you know, you are playing your mates. You know, we know them so well, Holly and Anton, so we're going to give it our all and see how we go.
Well, we wish you all the best this afternoon. It should be a fantastic contest. Well done for qualifying for the playoffs, and good luck to you this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
We're here with Team New Zealand, Holly Thompson, Anton Hood, into the playoff rounds. Congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
You've got a big game coming up this afternoon against Australia, a team that you're probably pretty familiar with. What are you expecting?
Expecting them to play well. They're on form at the moment. They're a very good team. So, yeah, we're just going to go out there, have a bit of fun and see what happens. Yeah, we know that we've got to play well to beat them. So, yeah, we'll just go into it with an open mind and see what happens.
And Holly, how do you feel it's gone for you this week, for you and the team?
We've been pretty good. Like, we've come out, got the first win. We had a few not so great games here and there, but we always fought back in the last half and got the win. So, you know, a win's a win, but we'll definitely have to up our game for this afternoon's game to get the win. So, yeah.
Now, 12-team competition. There were 3 New Zealand teams that started the competition. You're the only New Zealand team to qualify into the playoff phase. Does that feel like you're carrying a little extra responsibility for the country as a result of that, or is it just more games for you?
Just more games for us. We played quite well at our nationals and were unlucky in the final. We actually went undefeated until then. So this is kind of a bit of a boost for us to know that we can do it next year for nationals and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just using it as practice for next year, really.
Playing conditions out there have looked really excellent this week. The ice seems to be pretty pacey and good movement. Has it been that way to you as athletes? Do you feel like it's been top-class playing conditions?
Yeah, ice has been amazing. There's been a couple of the odd tracks that you get, but that's just in mixed doubles. Not everything's thrown certain paths, so there's the odd fresh one. But yeah, it's pretty good. The ice all round is world class, so we're lucky to have really good ice makers here in New Zealand at the moment.
Now I'll ask you the same question I asked Dean and Tally. Trans-Tasman rivalry, Australia and New Zealand, is there a little extra edge, or is it just another game with your mates?
Any game against Australia is one we want to win, so no matter what sport it is.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll definitely try and bring it back for the Silver Ferns. So yeah.
Well, congratulations to you both. Well done for getting here, and good luck in your game this afternoon.
Sure. Thank you.
So we've met the teams, and now we take a look inside the Maniototo International Curling Facility. Let's take a look at the playoff bracket. As we said, we're down to the final 6 in the mixed doubles curling event. We're at the playoff stage. Australia is taking on New Zealand. That'll be the game that we feature for you this afternoon. In the other playoff round game, it's Canada taking on Team USA. We'll keep an eye on that game. The winners of the games here will advance to the semifinals tomorrow. Sweden and Korea have already directly qualified for those semifinals because they topped their round-robin pools. The winners of tomorrow morning's semifinals will play tomorrow afternoon for the gold medal here at the QRC Winter Games New Zealand Curling Mixed Doubles event, presented by Forsyth Barr. Teams are preparing for the game. If you've been with us all week, you're accustomed to this site now in the pregame. Teams, after their pregame practice, throw the last stone draw. Each player throws one shot, trying to get closest to the middle as possible. The distances are added up, and that tells us who will have last rock advantage in the first end of this 8-end game. So it's Team Australia throwing their last stone draws as they complete their pre-game warm-up. Trying to put it directly on top of the center pin if they can. And that is mighty good shooting by Team Australia. Covering a piece of that center pin. Very, very good. You can see the goodwill and the good humor between the two teams. As we heard in the warm-up interviews, pre-game interviews, they know each other really well. They've competed against each other a lot over the years. There's Holly Thompson.
Yes, we did.
So the game will be played in good spirit, but it will be fiercely competitive.
We don't have anything for you guys now.
Now we see the officials using the laser measure, having to measure it from the perimeter of the 4-foot circle because that stone is actually covering the center pinhole, so they're going to triangulate the measurement. Official John Campbell pointing upwards. That tells us that Australia got the better of the pregame last stone draws, so they will enjoy last rock advantage. And it must have been close. It must have been close. Overhearing Holly Thompson saying just a couple of centimeters between the two teams' last stone draws.
Bridget said that after we started doing that bye-bye, she had bye-bye-bye, stuck it against the song. Yeah. Oh yeah, bye-bye-bye.
Holly and Tally sharing a smile before this game gets underway. If you've been with us all week, you're already familiar with the drill around mixed doubles curling, but if you're joining us for the first time this week, I'll explain the rules for you quickly. Mixed doubles curling, of course, the difference between mixed doubles and 4-person curling, there's only 2 players, one of each gender. Teams only throw 5 stones instead of the 8 that are thrown in men's and women's curling. One player throws the 1st and the 5th stone. The other player throws the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th stone. They can change the playing order every end if they choose. You're not allowed to remove a stone from play until the 4th delivered stone of the end. And there we see the 2 stationary stones that are set up as the starting position for the end. All of those rules mean that the rocks accumulate really, really quickly. There are lots of rocks in play, lots of fast action. Very difficult to preserve leads in mixed doubles curling. We've heard several of the teams telling us this week, when you get a lead, you can't go on defense. You just have to keep pressing. Makes for great entertainment as the teams await the starting orders from the officials, and we can get ourselves underway here on playoff day at the QRC Winter Games New Zealand mixed doubles curling event presented by Forsyth Barr. Holly Thompson, Anton Hood, both grew up in the near neighborhood from the Naseby Curling Rink. Holly is from Ranfurly, Anton from right here in Naseby. This rink was opened in 2005. So as they've grown up as young adults, they've grown up with this curling facility. Tally Gill, Dean Hewitt, they also spend a lot of time here in Naseby. There is no dedicated curling rink in Australia. There are ice facilities, but there are no dedicated curling rinks. So the Australians will travel here for their national competitions and for training. So the Australian National Curling Championships are actually held in New Zealand each year. So Dean and Tally also very familiar with the rink here in Naseby. Pre-game warm-up slides are done. Australia has last rock advantage. Australia will play the red stones. New Zealand will play the yellow stones. We're just about to get it on here in the playoffs at the QRC Winter Games.
Got a nice time on it.
Yep, the line. Yep. Cut the line. Walk. Wait only. Yep. Yes!
You're about 10 feet light, Holly.
Really?
Wanted to bring that one into the rings, but we heard Anton say that's about 10 feet light. So a bit of a misjudgment. There is a bit of a difference when you have the first pre-game practice or the second pre-game practice.
80.
Okay.
First pre-game practice, the ice is a little fresher.
Yeah, wherever you're taking.
Pebbles a little less worn in. So sometimes on that first stone of the game, if you've had first practice, you need a bit of a rangefinder to lock in the correct draw weight.
Like heaps.
Whoa.
Tally-Gill.
Curl a bit.
Tally
Coming
is
in
from
nice.
Brisbane.
Curl. Curl.
Okay.
Foot and a half heavy.
57.
Australia lies
What
2,
side do you like that one?
but they do leave a bit of a pocket for the New Zealanders to draw to.
Sorry.
Anton Hood.
Line's great.
Right, line only.
Okay, yep. Yep. Pass!
Just
Yes! Yes!
It's going to be tight to the center guard.
Whoa.
He's by.
Wait only.
Oh, nice first up draw from Anton Hood. Corner freezes the Australian stone, maybe fractionally over curls.
This way?
Yeah. They're behind T, aren't they?
What?
They're behind T line, yeah?
Yeah.
Dean Hewitt will also play a draw, although he's going to come around the intern side, the other side of the sheet.
Close.
7,
Where is it?
7, 6, 7,
Whoa! It's
Draw
open.
his shot in front of the stone that Anton just threw.
8,
Curl.
8, 8.
Curl.
This one well clear of the guard. A fraction wide. That's the difference between a good shot and a great shot in mixed doubles
Wanna touch
curling.
for ice?
Just about perfect weight, but because it didn't curl enough,
You're there.
New Zealand now lying 1. Australia does have last rock advantage here in the first end. The basic strategy of curling, when you've got last rock, it's an advantage. You'd be thinking that you should score 1 point because you're throwing the last shot. So strategically, you're trying to get 2 or more when you've got last rock. When you don't have last rock, you're trying to prevent your opponents from scoring 2 or more points.
Line's great.
So New Zealand would be really happy
Yep.
to force the Australians to take a single point and get last rock advantage back.
Whoa.
Back 2.
Okay, yep.
Line only.
Whoa.
Good looking stone here from Hood. Doesn't really want to touch his own stone though.
Oh.
Oh, that's a beauty.
What's up?
Great shot from Anton Hood. Back to back. Very nice come around draws.
That way.
And New Zealand lies 2.
That might be okay.
But that stone nearly dead frozen on his own rock. It's going to make it difficult for the Australians to move it.
Just really skinny the guard and see if we can just shave that yellow sideways.
Okay.
It's a tricky shot now for Dean Hewitt. So we're going to try and shave the guard. It means he's going to try to come very, very close to that center guard.
You like that?
Hope that he can get a little bit of action on the New Zealand shot rocks. Tough shot.
Straight.
Throwing a lot of weight. Is he by? No, clips the center guard. Opens it up.
That's not bad. Who do you want to go? Centre?
There.
This way?
Yeah.
Where for ice? Do you reckon that?
I quite like the outturn.
Do you want to go that way still?
Yeah.
You sure? There?
I think the outturn's a good play. Anton has just thrown 2 stones down this path, so you might as well throw down the path that you're familiar with. It will be a guard stone. Wants to defend those 2 stones on the button. Wants to block
Maybe just
so the Australians can't hit them.
Yeah, well. Left.
Wants to be near to the rings, but he probably doesn't want to be in the rings. The important thing on a guard shot is the line. You want to completely block the target stone.
Close. It's coming now, yeah?
It's a die, Holly.
Is it all there?
Yeah. It's tight,
The
6.
stone is tracking a
Do you
little
think
bit
it's here
fuller.
then?
Now it's
Not
making a
there.
All
move.
there?
Now it's getting better.
Yep, yep.
That one took a long time to make its break, but
Shot.
finished on a perfect line for the guard. Nice shot. 3 nice shots this end from Anton Hood.
Did you do that?
I don't think you can hit it this side. Then we get this one to here.
Okay.
Peel.
Yep.
Australia's going to make a play on the front stone. Try to drive it into the
Do you
New
want
Zealand
just one
shots
side of nose?
on the button area.
Okay.
3/4.
Okay. Cheers.
The stone on the button, set up to jam. It'll be difficult to remove all 3, but he's going to try to get rid of 2 New Zealand counters. Big weight.
Straight, straight.
Drives it straight back. Does pop 2 New Zealand stones out of there. Nice shot from Dean Hewitt.
Good set.
So now Holly Thompson's going to need to be
That's just
a little bit careful.
How many? Do you like coming to there?
Yeah. Do that?
Yeah.
Let's give myself a fair bit of ice. I should
Gotta
have
get
straight
some
earlier,
nose, so-
sorry.
Oh, wouldn't be able to get to it
Yeah.
quick enough anyway.
I need to go like mid blue.
Yeah.
For ice there. It's curling
Mid
quite a
blue,
lot.
yeah. Mid blue. If you pull up short and corner freeze that top one, you're fine.
Okay, cool.
It's just kind of.
Yeah.
Holly Thompson looking to draw
So
around
five?
the
Yep. Mid blue.
stone at the top of the house. Draw into the 4-foot circle, really on top of her own stone if she can get it there.
Have a wait, Phil.
Yep.
One only.
Yep. Whoa.
Lots of room.
Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Yep,
go.
yep, yep. Go, go, go.
They'd love to get on the inside of that red Australian stone.
Charlie.
Nice shot.
Oh, that's fantastic. Great shot from Holly Thompson, and New Zealand lies 2.
Don't get
Got a couple options. Just nose
Nose
that
that.
for one.
Okay.
shot.
Sweet.
I think coming through the hole here isn't any good.
No.
You can't. You have to throw quite a bit of weight to actually
Yeah.
do that.
Yep, no.
Straight nose.
Yep.
You want control? He's gonna stuff it right there, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Really only one option for Team Australia.
Maybe normal.
Hit the front
Normal?
stone
I think here
on it
then.
straight back
Okay.
on the shot rock.
Do you like normal or control?
I like normal. Just dead nose, yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to drive it
For
straight
action,
back
my side's okay.
onto the shot
nose
rock. The
is
reason Holly's
ideal.
shot was so good, see how it's angle frozen on that stone?
No,
That
you
means
got
that
it.
it will not go anywhere. So the best that
straight or
Australia is
set?
going to do is get 1 here.
I thought straight.
Okay.
Yep. Whoa.
Oh my goodness!
Right, mate.
Dean Hewitt loses his footing, falls down, hits
Yeah.
the stone.
I just touched it with my broom, so.
Stone comes out of play automatically,
Sorry.
so
I like that.
You're right.
thankfully Dean appears to be unhurt, but it will be a steal of 2 to New Zealand. Curling, that's called a burn stone if you touch a stone in motion.
Are you okay?
No, no, I'm fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Players, of course, very worried about Dean's welfare. That was quite a tumble.
Push it with my hand.
That's
because I didn't want to make contact.
Well, Dean's okay, but a moment of anxiety here in Naseby as Dean Hewitt took a tumble trying to sweep that one, a smile on his face. But it's a steal of a pair for New Zealand. After one end of play, they lead it by a score of 2-0. There's confirmation of the score as we enter the second end at the QRC Winter Games New Zealand mixed doubles curling event. We're in the playoff round. Winner advances to the semi-final.
Okay, let's find our way. Yeah, it's fine.
Dean's
I was trying to
inquired by the officials, making sure he's okay.
Just curl side early.
Oh, okay.
And then I was trying to switch back and then just got my foot caught under.
Sorry.
That wasn't your fault.
I just feel
You didn't do
bad
anything.
Dean explaining
That was
to
good.
Tally
That was pretty close.
just the trip of the footwork is what tripped himself up.
Oh, yeah. Wee bit soft, I think.
Okay.
What's the line like? Line only.
Yep. Whoa.
Holly Thompson willing the stone to curl. A couple of the curlers out there this week talking to the stones, trying to persuade them to do something.
Is that our turn?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just middle 12.
Yep. Sorry. 80?
Yep.
85?
85. Just lock it on.
Yep.
Here are the players giving numbers to each other, 80, 85. Those are interval times. The players use stopwatches
7,
to
8.
help gauge the pace of how hard they're throwing the stone.
7, 8.
That's legal.
8. Curl up. Curl up.
Tally
Curl up.
looks on, and willing this
Okay,
stone to
Tally.
curl as well.
That's all right.
He's got 3/4.
Good.
Just come.
Pretty quick there.
So there.
All right.
Even if you.
You just want to get on the inside of nose, though.
Yeah.
Holly illustrating for us what the shot's going to be for Anton. Inside corner freeze. Wants to sit a corner on the inside of the Australian rock. Characteristic small lift as part of his takeaway. If you're a real curling fan,
Come here, soft.
you'll know who one of Anton's sporting heroes is, Kevin Kiwi from Canada, multiple world champion. Anton's takeaway and slide and delivery looks
Yep.
very much like that of Kevin Kiwi.
Whoa, yep.
Just going to leave it in a nice spot.
Yep. I like
nice
it there.
spot.
Yeah, it's good.
Over curls, but in a useful place for New Zealand to use. They can promote that stone.
What?
They're in the 8-foot.
No, a wee shot.
Yeah, we're shot.
Okay. Yep.
You just want to lock it on?
Yeah, I don't even mind getting to the inside and just going straight round.
Okay.
Team Australia were semi-finalists at last year's World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship. That's the first time, the best performance ever by an Australian mixed doubles team.
Where is it?
6.
Straight.
6.
That was a 48-nation event.
Whoa. Curl if you can.
Can't.
Okay, well.
Gonna nudge his own stone back a half a
Okay,
rock,
that's
but
not
they do leave themselves lying too, and
So there.
Nice like that, eh?
Yep.
leaves his shot rock in a good position.
Same ice.
Difficult for New Zealand
Where'd you have
to
me?
There.
promote it
Yeah,
without
more.
jamming.
So I might be so soft.
Yeah.
Speed's like a 95 there.
Yep. That's fine.
Dean and Tally will represent Australia at next year's World Mixed Doubles World Championship, which is also an Olympic Games qualifying event. Anton Hood.
Mine's nice.
Weight's nice.
Okay.
T-line.
Stay close. Yep. Whoa.
Whoa, it's heavy.
Oh.
Line's not far away. I'm going to stay with this one.
So going to be on the corner of it. Or maybe half.
Just a bit of a corner freeze. Tiny bump.
Maybe
Would have
should
loved to
be
be
nice.
perfectly welded, but pretty good spot. Australia still lying 2, and that scoring area is getting really congested now. Center guard still in place, defending the fort. We're in the second end of play, 8-end game.
Line's good.
6, 5, 6, 5, 5,
Whoa.
6,
Curl.
6. Sure?
Yes. It has to curl.
Sure?
Yep, curl it.
Very good.
Couple of options now for the New Zealanders. They could just slam the stone that Dean just threw and maybe pop both reds out.
Or
They
you
could tap the
put
front
one
yellow
there.
front.
Yeah,
It's quite hard for them to get
yeah,
a
that's
couple
true.
there because that one goes.
Yeah.
And then if they catch it too thin, at least it moves that one around.
Is there one
Like
up there?
that?
Yep. So there?
Yeah. Here more, Holly. Maybe here more.
New Zealand is electing the guard, and I think they're doing that because Australia at this moment is only lying a single shot. So this is a way to kind of close it out and force the Australians to take a single point. Look at that forest of stones behind the guard. As we were discussing about the strategy, you think, well, you're giving your opponent a point. What's with that? But
Stay with it.
tactically,
Stay
that's exactly the result you want if you're New Zealand. If your opponent
That's
only gets a
really nice.
single point with last rock,
It's decent set.
you've kind of won the end because you get last rock yourself in the next end.
Yep. Oh, oh,
Set.
Don't want it to overcurl.
Sharp.
Pretty good spot for Anton Hood.
Got that side.
Now Australia.
Pretty good.
Okay.
How do you set up a pair?
Yeah, we don't have that anymore.
Got
Yep.
there.
There is a path that Australia can throw to get themselves into second shot position. Throw a just back button behind the front yellow. That's
that
the
your
protection
draw line?
stone. That's the stone that
It's
they'll
a
have to
little
watch
bit
out
more.
for as
Okay,
they
good.
approach the button area.
Line's close.
6, 6. When I can.
Line's good. Straight, good. Straight.
Hewitt trying to hold the line, get it by that stone in the front 8. He's by, but is it going to stop in time? Anton Hood is allowed to sweep once it reaches the tee line, and it just goes a bit too deep. So New Zealand still in a situation here where
Try
they're
that.
trying to force the Australians to one.
Let's see the risk.
I like the guard. I like the guard.
Okay. It's a tough 2.
Yeah, I like the force them to one and then like we stole 2, so just force
Yeah,
them to
just set your
one.
stone up.
Yep.
You hear Holly and Anton discussing the options, and they have 2 options here. The option that they've chosen is the guard. They're going to try and throw a guard stone blocking the path to the draw that Dean just tried. They're going to try to take that path away. The other option that they've got is
Hello, blue.
coming in,
Right there.
tapping their own forward onto the red. But there's some risk in that, so they've decided that the guard is the better option. That'll block the path to the 2 for the Australians.
Yep.
Anywhere over that red hog line
light, Holly.
is good for New
Really
Zealand.
light.
Has to be completely over that red line to be in play. They don't want it to over curl, but this stone is over curling. So you can see Dean Hewitt saying it's still there, Tally. We can draw one there.
I think it is here.
Yeah. All right.
You only need like quarter rock in the forefoot.
Okay.
So you need to go a bit way more, or like.
You reckon edge?
Yeah. Thank you.
Maybe just inside.
Okay.
Players are having to go out a little bit
What kind
wider
of speed?
each time
90?
Yeah. 90's close.
to get to
I
the
can carry
spot
it
that
pretty
they're
good here.
trying to
Okay.
get to, which is
Doing
edge of the
95,
button.
we'll get there too.
Okay.
And every time you adjust the target line, you go on to a patch of ice that might be a little bit fresher, and so you're a little less certain of the weight. Let's see what Tally Gill can do on this one, trying to draw the side of the button for a second point.
Straight! Whoa! Right's good! Yep, straight!
This is close.
Line only, just line only.
Maybe a bit too much.
Okay.
Yes, actually overcooked it with the sweep.
Okay.
Sliding past the button. It's only a single point for the Australians. Had the right line, but just a fraction too much weight. Mission accomplished for New Zealand in the early going, a pair in the first. They forced the Australians to a single point in the second at the QRC Winter Games Mixed Doubles Curling Playoffs. New Zealand 2, Australia 1 with 2 complete.
Okay, on the board. That's all right.
In competitive curling, we like to call that a cheap hammer. It means you get hammer back inexpensively. Best scenario possible for the New Zealanders. They will enjoy last rock advantage here in the third.
Okay.
It was a quick 90,
Yeah.
but I pounded it most of the way, so
Okay. Lock it up.
looking at 85 this way.
85?
Yeah.
Tally internalizing that number.
I like middle.
Yep. You got it.
Sounded like she didn't quite believe the weight that Dean was asking her to throw, but locks in.
Where is it?
66.
Whoa.
8, 9,
Curl.
9. Coming
Curl.
down. Coming down.
Has to curl. Whoa, line's okay.
This one's really making a move.
Shut. Shut.
Covers the pin.
What did you get?
Yeah, I like the out turn too. 66.
Okay.
You put a lot of rotation, so you held back a bit, but
Okay.
Each of the blue.
Communication's so important. Before the shot, we said, Dean saying to Tally, throw 85. And he said, you threw 66. That meant it was a fraction harder than Dean thought was going to be necessary, but came to rest in exactly the right spot. So they just checked after the shot and said, yeah, a little bit more rotation. Just these fine points. So important in terms of
maybe not.
understanding exactly where the stone is going to go. Perfect weight, but a little bit wide on the line. Sitting right beside the Australian
Do you
shot.
reckon just a little tap? What do you like locking eyes on? Or there?
Yeah, I think so.
Teflon slider on Dean's left foot. Very low friction. That's why they glide so
Like a little
effortlessly.
inside.
6, 5.
Whoa, line's okay.
As we saw earlier in the game, though,
Straight.
that Teflon is slippery, and if you don't have your balance, you can lose it pretty quickly. This one is going to come up. Weight was good, but it just over curls.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, even if you get sit. We do have to make a play on it at some stage, though.
That's true. They could make that play now.
Yeah, I like that. Come see if we can get inside a nose.
So
Just
there?
like back line, yeah.
Yeah? So...
Back line.
There?
Well, let's tell you what. Go left.
Anton had another look and he saw the same
Chipping
thing
the
that I
guard's
did.
fine too.
The way that these red stones are angled, this is an excellent time to make a play on them because the way that they're angled, if you can get near to the nose of the front stone, you can spring them both out of there and leave your own stones in play. You may not get this chance again. Stone needs to curl a bit. Getting better.
It's on the nose now.
Oh, nice stone from Anton Hood. Now New Zealand is lying one, and the stones are much more angled favorably for the New Zealanders.
I think we've got to tap this.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay.
On closer inspection, the Australians might
Do you want to
actually
hit
have
half or
shot
up?
rock right now. It's pretty
Might
close.
be at 2/3. See if we can spill that yellow
Okay.
in between those reds. Yeah?
Here.
Little, yeah.
Okay. Play back 4.
What?
Back 8 or back 4?
Back 8.
Back 8, that's shorthand for I want to
Like
throw
a
it
little
hard
more,
enough to
please.
reach the back 8-foot circle.
Like that?
Yeah.
Just enough to give the New Zealand stones a nudge, move them around. Can't throw heavier than that. The harder you throw it, the straighter it goes, and these stones are behind the center guard. So
Back
he needs
8.
to have quiet weight in order to have it curl once it gets past the center guard.
Whoa!
There you see the center
Curl
guard.
if you can.
Now you see it curling. Nice touch here from Dean Hewitt.
Pretty good.
Okay, that's good. You want to get rid of him? Yeah.
Couple of options here for New Zealand.
What kind of weight do you reckon, though? What are you looking at?
Looking at that.
Could make a play.
Yeah? I was also looking
What's
at
it
that.
there?
Red
Then he risk scissors.
into the pile.
There.
Kill 3.
Damn, got it.
Yeah?
Could also play a quiet weight along the lines
Might
that
be
Dean
there.
just
We'll
threw,
have-
try
we'll
to
have
tap their own stone forward on either turn. Does look like Anton wants to make a play on the Australian stone right behind the brush that Holly is holding.
Yellow.
Maybe it's the hair.
New Zealand does have last rock here,
Whoa. No, go less.
so they want to keep
Yeah.
the scoring area available for themselves to maybe get 2 or 3. Big weight. He's going to hit something. Where are they going to go is the question. Kills 2 reds, leaves the Australian stone on the button, but the New Zealand stone is welded right in front of it, so
Really good.
it's a dangerous situation for the Australians now.
So curled here, I mean.
Yeah. I was watching. Okay.
Sit right here.
Any contact New Zealand gets on the
So just
stone
on
in front
nose.
of the red stone is
Yep.
going to make the red stone go away.
I like. Board.
Board.
Even less, actually. Thinking like back line hack.
Okay.
Intriguing third end in this 8-end contest. Winner of this playoff game will go on to the semifinal tomorrow morning.
Right on nose, yeah?
Yeah, I like less, please.
You like that?
Yeah.
Heard Dean say hack weight, throwing it hard enough to reach the hack at the far end. It's like soft takeout weight.
Hack. Hack.
Straight! Just straight!
Trying to hold the line straight. They're worried about this one over curling. Jams it.
Okay.
That's not bad.
It is not bad. If New Zealand could ever get to the nose of the red one, they could wind up lying 4. There is a center guard impeding the path to that red stone.
Then I
There's
guess
a
if
great
you
look
play
at it.
that-
You can see about half of it.
Back to here. you sit there,
Yeah.
their only shot's that,
Yeah.
and it's tough. Play
Bump it back
back
to
line.
Yeah.
You don't, just want to,
across the
don't be
go.
careful not to spin too much, that's all.
You don't want to
Play's
do
going
that.
to be on
Yeah,
the outturn
okay.
side.
So, there?
Think so, yeah.
Yeah?
Tight to that guard as you can without hitting that other red one.
Yep.
Anton going to be making a play to his own stone in the front of the button. Try to hit it as full as he can
won't
without
give me too much weight.
rubbing the red stone going by.
How much can you see?
Nothing, it's over buried, but that's not the point.
Okay,
No,
then.
more.
You reckon more?
More. More.
Anton
Also
knows
like a
it's going to
back
curl.
Yep.
Trying to get contact right there. He'd like to
Yeah, more, Ollie.
leave his shot rock
Yeah.
in that position, push the Australian stone back out of the rings.
Line's great. Yep. Whoa.
Stone needs to move a little bit to get some contact on that front stone.
Take the red one, Holly.
Oh, it's right through the hole.
Just too heavy. Okay.
Just a bit too much weight for the shot.
Do you ever like that?
Australia's not out of the woods yet, however.
Roll
That's what I
there.
was thinking.
We've got a slash double for 2.
Okay, so not that. Well, at the moment they've got that.
Yeah, for 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I think we got to move this.
So just like
What if we
back
just do it
four.
here? We just pop it here and sit right there. Yeah. What do they play? It's gonna jam all day. Yeah. Pop it here.
Yeah. Just play back four.
Yeah. Here.
Yep. 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 Yep.
The Australian play,
So I don't
Dean Hewitt saying, if you
Just
just
sit, just
tap
slide
this
in the-
stone here on the edge of the forefoot,
Sliding the button.
biting the button.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
back.
need a roll though here.
Yeah, I know.
Even if we have a big roll, it's not that bad.
Okay.
We roll right under the yellow,
Okay.
under the red, so the yellow red. If we roll right across center line, that's
Yeah.
pretty good too.
Where was the line again?
I'd take middle 12.
All right.
I think with back
What kind of
four.
split? 70.
70.
Okay.
You got it. Middle
75's
12.
okay.
Yeah. You got it.
the play is going to be a soft tap on the New Zealand stone on the edge of the forefoot circle.
Okay, we're like back line.
Okay. Whoa, whoa,
Back
whoa.
line.
Needs to curl.
Back line.
Curl. Curl.
It's trying.
Curl it if you can. It's coming in nice.
Good looking stone here.
Shot. That's really good, actually.
That is really good.
That's real good.
I was a bit worried.
Everybody agrees that that's really good.
Oh, it's limit to 1, eh?
Huh?
It's limit to 1.
Yep.
Well, take another look, Anton. There are some angles here where you could get to.
Heavy draw.
Keep it draw.
I think they could hit the outside of this red stone
Can
really
play the
hard,
other way.
drive the yellow
You like it.
across the top of
Well,
the
the way
two
it
reds
beat
and
onto-
sprint them that
I think
way.
it goes across the face.
Yeah,
it's
gonna
come
go.
this way.
I don't think it's gonna.
That's right.
I think it would. You might lose the yellow stone out the side door, though, so. Looks like the play they want to make is just a heavy draw. Nudge the Australian stone back and maybe concede one.
Should I give myself a touch less ice, do you reckon? It's good.
Yeah, it's just back.
Big
back
smile
line.
from Tally Gill. That was a great shot.
Oh, not back line, so back 2. Back 2 is better weight.
Holly Thompson.
A bit soft in the back 2.
Hey, whoa.
It's a line like
Whoa.
We've seen that the stones will curl if the weight comes down.
Yep.
Lots of room yet, though. This one is not making a move yet. Now it's starting to go. Needs to push something, but it's got to push it far enough. I don't think so. It looks like a steal of 2 points. Anton kicking the stones away quickly, but fairly certain that it is a steal of 2 for Australia. So after that fantastic final stone of Tally Gill, setting up the steal, puts the Australians in front for the first time in the game after 3 ends of play in this 8-end playoff game at the QRC Winter Games New Zealand Mixed Doubles Curling event presented by Forsyth Barr. It's Australia 3, And New Zealand, 2. Neither team have used their power play yet. Each team has 1 power play to use during the game. You can only play it when you enjoy last rock advantage.
I like this side.
Just outside middle.
Yeah.
We'll explain the power play setup when one of the teams calls for it.
Yeah, it is real good.
I'll carry it.
Yeah.
I can get a 95 there easy.
All right.
Even a 4, I'll probably get top 4.
Okay, I don't mind that.
See how evenly matched these teams are.
Couple more seconds.
Both teams playing really well.
Lock it on?
Yeah. Okay, you're good whenever.
We spoke with Dean and Tally earlier in the week. I asked them, did that semifinal finish at World Championships reset your own expectations about how competitive you are? And they said absolutely yes. It's given them enormous confidence. They're going to be playing a full Northern Hemisphere competitive schedule this year. They've attracted some support from Australian sport funding agencies. Fantastic freeze there from Tally Gill.
Sorry, I should have called curl.
Yeah, like that.
Australia has never had a curling team compete in the Winter Olympics.
Still.
Dean and Tally would love to be that first ever Aussie curling team to compete, aiming squarely at the Beijing Olympics in 2022. Holly Thompson.
Yeah, the feel. Kind of feel like you're a bit tight.
Yep. Pass. You pass. Whoa.
Big sweep from Anton Hood, holds the line straight. He's got a lot of weight. Unlocks the stones.
Top 4.
You're a mile tight.
Top 4.
Sorry,
Yeah.
stuck in my hand.
You're a mile tight.
Only said that one got
Yeah,
stuck in
really.
my hand.
Yeah.
Got a result?
Kiwi got past it.
Dean Hewitt.
Line's close.
5. The fresh stuff.
That's okay.
Only got across the
Don't be
face.
many rocks
Yeah.
hanging out that far.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Looks like New Zealand is now going to take the opportunity to rip these center guards and open it up. Holly Thompson holding the target brush for Anton Hood. This one may have a vapor trail behind it. Ba-boom.
Yeah.
Shot.
Nice shot from Anton Hood. Clears the front.
Okay.
Is that how we rip everything? It's over to you. Like we just hit here, get rid of everything. And they got to come around that thing. That's tough. Let's play that.
What's the
Don't
danger
peel.
in doing that?
Just rip everything.
Even
I
on
don't think
red line.
we can't put in a good spot here.
Okay.
We can easily leave a double and leave them 3.
Okay.
No more.
More.
Dean Hewitt looking at the angles of the stones in the rings and said, okay, well, that was a nice double
Where does it
clear.
have to hit this rock? Huh?
Right on
Yeah.
the nose.
You like that?
Fraction less.
Dean thinks he can clear all 3 stones with 1 takeout shot.
Yep.
Good,
He was
Charlie.
right. Well, not quite.
Jeez.
Couldn't quite squeeze that other New Zealand stone out. Just
like it?
clinging on in the back 12 foot.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's okay.
Even
yeah.
if it was there.
Yeah. I like that.
Something where it doesn't give him a run double.
So, there.
But there, yeah.
Like that.
Chance for New Zealand to go around that corner guard. It's quite a wide corner guard, but main thing is to get good separation between the 2 shots and hopefully trade stones and hopefully get their 2 points as we head for the 4th end break in this 8-end playoff game. If you have your druthers, you always want to score on the even ends. Ends
Nice.
2, 4, 6, and 8. You love having last rock advantage when you're coming into the final end of the game.
Just wait only. Wait only.
Well clear of the guard.
Wait only.
Don't really want to give him the inside roll on the guard.
Yep.
Anton Hood recognizing that doesn't want to leave any air gap around that corner guard that the Australians could hit and roll with.
Yep.
Dean Hewitt thinks they can do it
Don't
though.
wanna, we need to stay fully in the 12 foot, yeah?
Yeah.
Your nose isn't bad.
Play normal.
Like this control.
Great look at it from the delivery end. Dean can see all of it. He wants to hit that yellow stone to the right of the brush of Patali and just flop a little bit to the outside and maybe hide a corner behind that guard stone.
You like that?
Maybe a little less.
Does not want to roll out of the rings, however.
Control.
Straight. Go. Yup, straight.
Oh, that was
Sorry.
really nice, but did it roll too far?
That's perfect.
No, Dean likes it.
Line call.
Did it overcurl?
No, it's perfect.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
Back
Australia line
There,
1.
Yeah. What would you want, hack or back line or?
About a
I'll
centimetre.
have a look.
Yeah. So that's out counting that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dean tells Tally, yes, we're line 1.
You could just about draw down to it and just move it here. Just draw down to it and just tap it. 2 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be ideal. You can see about half, but Anton correctly
Kind of
says
line.
we only have to move it 2 feet for us to lie 2.
Where'd you have me before?
There.
Go centre line, I think.
Center line.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just be probably go here less.
Here less.
No, half it.
Yep.
Yeah. More, Holly. Yeah.
Just T-line weight here for Anton
Yeah.
Hood.
Looks good.
Any line yet? It's T weight.
Okay. Stay
Nice
close.
and
Line
guard,
yet.
Holly.
Whoa.
Now it's getting better.
Yep.
Someone had those.
Doesn't want to over-curl it, though. He needs to push the Australian stone sideways.
Bugger.
Ah, that's a sweeping error.
Okay.
Sitting one.
They've left the Australians
You've got
counting
two
1.
options.
The way you want to hit it.
Yeah.
Feel like it was better to hit a wee piece.
If we put it in
sitting
there.
here.
It's like,
I don't mind here.
Sorry.
this had to be half
Shouldn't
an
have.
Yeah.
But then they just draw on top.
That's fine, they only get one.
Okay.
If you ever play here and they play really aggressive and they go for the double, then we're in trouble.
Okay.
There's either here, here, or here.
I like that.
You like here?
Yeah.
Okay, let's make it.
What do you like?
Let's take here. Yeah?
Do you like that one better?
The thing is here, they've got to double this way.
Okay, just go here then.
Yeah. I think at least we know that path.
Yeah.
Take here.
All right.
So after some debate, the Australians are going to draw to the kiwi stone at the back of the rings.
What kind of split?
80.
Well,
see
if
an
I
80.
play my back four.
Bottom of our picture,
Yeah.
that's their target stone.
Anything behind the T line is fine here.
Okay.
You don't have to freeze to it. As
Oh,
long as
okay.
we're back behind T.
So.
Dean's right.
what
Doesn't
was
have
it
to be
again?
frozen
80?
all the
T-line.
way back to the back stone, as long as it's
Go
second
85.
shot.
Okay.
I can carry it.
Where was the line again?
Just outside edge of 8.
All right.
Yeah?
Yep.
Just such disappointment on Anton's previous shot. He
85.
threw it perfect, but they just misread the line on the sweeping call. Left the Australians lying 1, so this gives Tolly Gill a chance to draw for second shot, and it's going to force the New Zealanders to take a single point.
Whoa, it's got lots of room. You need a hand?
We're fine.
Okay.
We're fine.
Curl if you can. Curl!
Just got to overweight.
To get it past the red
Shot.
stone, that removes the risk of a double takeout. That's a nice shot.
Shot.
What do you like? We tap.
Sorry. Yeah.
Good.
I like that.
What weight do you like?
That's fine.
Heck.
Yeah, heck. I like
T
heck.
line.
About there?
Yep.
So that forces New Zealand to take a single point. Heard the players say throw hack weight. Holly will just throw it hard enough to bump the red stone, stick around herself, count this one. Anton's looking to see if there's...
Could play this for 3.
Oh gosh. It's there, but it's really low percentage.
Or you just like taking 1?
Just take the one, I think.
Yeah, I think so in this situation.
Yeah.
You might play for the 3 if it was late in the game and you're trailing, but in this situation, single point ties you the game, so... While I admire the vision to see that shot, it's probably not the shot to play in this circumstance.
Whoa! Leave it up from here, Holly.
Whoa.
Like bumper.
Oh, this one's tracking straight.
It's not moving.
No contact yet. She's got a little bit more weight than she was looking for. This could go right by.
You threw bumper.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's a miss for New Zealand and a steal of 2 for Australia. Holly Thompson stepping up the weight, and it tracks straight, and the Aussies steal 2. So as we reach the halfway point of our playoff game, QRC Winter Games New Zealand mixed doubles curling, it's Australia 5 and New Zealand 2. The other playoff game also in their 4th end break, and we'll update the scores for you now as we have an opportunity. Eagerly anticipated match between Canada and the USA, and at the 4th end break, Joe Polo and Tab Peterson of Team USA holding a 4-2 lead over Robert and Émilie Desjardins from Canada. Teams playing to try to get themselves into tomorrow's semifinals and finals, and we will have the action for you tomorrow morning. Mixed doubles curling tournament presented by Forsyth Barr. 2 semifinals tomorrow morning. First semifinal, game time will start at 8 a.m. We'll be on air 10 to 8. Second semifinal later in the morning. Winners of those semifinals will advance to the gold medal game, which we will have for you live here on Sky Sport tomorrow afternoon. Athletes in the other semifinal game, they've completed their 4th end break. They're getting ready to start the second half of that game. The USA holding a 4-2 edge. They've also got last rock advantage. Taking a quick peek at the scoreboard, we can see that the Canadians used their power play in the 4th end, only getting a single point. So Canada getting it underway in end number 5. Émilie Desjardins, Robert Desjardins, the father and daughter combination. They had a big win this morning to clinch their playoff spot. So they're bringing a little momentum into this one. But they're in tough against this high-quality team from the USA. Tab Peterson, Joe Polo. Joe is an Olympic medalist, multiple Olympic medalist. Joe and Tab have been medalists at the World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship, so one of the pre-tournament favorites to be sure. There we get a look at Tab Peterson. There's Joe Polo, one of the real good guys in the sport. He's been competing for a long time. Terrific guy, fantastic athlete. Draws it right onto the tee line. Holly Thompson, it's probably a good time for the 4th end break for Team New Zealand. Would have been disappointed in that miss, but with that break now, it's a chance for them just to calm down, reset, prepare themselves for the second half of this game. Trailing 5-2, but as we've seen so often this week in mixed doubles curling, 3-point lead is hardly safe. We've seen scores of 3, 4. We've even seen a 6 this week.
Turned it off. I think Bridget turned it off.
It would be.
It's typical of Bridget to do that kind of stuff.
Thank you.
Tally Gill from Brisbane. Dean Hewitt from Melbourne. Team Australia.
Yeah. Just whenever we're ready, pretty much, or?
There is curling in Australia. They do use the ice hockey rinks to curl, but none of the rinks are dedicated for curling as this rink is in Naseby.
Outturn, you're looking at an 80 on this side.
Okay.
Hair sticky.
Who will it be? Will it be Australia? Will it be New Zealand? Who is going to go on to the semi-final?
Line's good.
7, 8, 8.
Whoa, it's hanging.
8.
Curl if you can.
8. No, can't ever.
As we see so often after the midpoint break, we saw the ice technicians
Remember those tolerances, yeah?
just running the brush up and down the ice to remove debris, and that usually means it's a little quicker for the first few shots of the fifth end. Sometimes you can get fooled and your stone carries further, and that's exactly what happened to Tally Gill. Good look at the underside of the curling stone as Holly Thompson cleans it, removes any debris before she goes to throw her shot. Important end for the New Zealanders to bounce back after that disappointment in the fourth.
Oh, you're really light.
Yep.
Anton Hood, such a strong sweeper, holding the line dead straight, but he thinks Holly's light. He's going to drag it as far as he can, so New Zealand might be able to use it as a promotion stone. Comes up just short of the rings.
This way.
Do you want to come this
No.
way?
Fifth end of our 8-end game.
Do you want less?
Yeah.
Hewitt.
5,
okay.
6. 5.
Straight. Yep, straight.
Don't know if weight too.
Maximum effort from Dean Hewitt on the brushing. Tally Gill joins him. And there you see, that's
Shut.
it's a bit of a sports cliche, but that was a shot that was made in the gym.
Right there.
Yeah.
Just off nose.
Coast to coast sweeping by Dean Hewitt, dragging it all the way onto the pin. Perfectly buried. Dean catching his breath, an enormously fit athlete.
There.
Yeah.
Anton Hood. Anton's had a lot of curling success over the last 12 months. He's not only competing here,
Whoa.
Big 4.
but he was also a member of the first ever New Zealand junior men's team to qualify for a World Junior Men's Curling Championship.
Whoa, Holly,
Trying
whoa.
just to tap that red
Don't
stone.
bounce that far.
Bit of a nudge. Nice shot from Anton.
I think so.
That New Zealand junior men's team finished 6th, and that re-qualified them directly for next year's World
Is that
Juniors.
right on T-line?
Yeah.
So there's a real crop of youth here in New Zealand.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
We've seen them on show
Like
this
that?
week here at the QRC Winter Games New Zealand Mixed Doubles Curling event. All 6 New Zealand athletes this week. 21 years of age and younger.
Yeah. Whoa, whoa.
A really bright future for New Zealand curling. Hewitt trying to remove one of the New Zealand stones. No inside roll, just noses it.
There.
Yeah.
What kind of weight do you want?
He's like same weight.
That same weight?
Yeah.
So, there?
We go here, Les, and get me to sweep it.
Yep.
Talked about Dean Hewitt's sweeping ability. Well, Anton Hood is no slouch with the brush either, and he's asking Holly, tighten the ice up a little bit, and if it's a hair tight, I'll be able to hold it with brushing.
Stay close. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa.
It's coming inside now, eh?
Nah, it's only
yet.
just coming onto the nose now.
So back-to-back nose hits.
What do you
New
reckon?
Zealand lies 2.
Dead freeze it.
Okay.
We got a small rub, that's okay.
This way, yeah?
This side. The hit and roll, we don't get shot rock.
Yeah, I know.
Dean Hewitt saying we have to play a freeze to the stone in the back of the red 4-foot circle. If we hit the front stone and roll, we won't be shot rock.
You want to freeze it onto the back line?
Yeah, dead freeze. Dead freeze. I mean, top 4's not the end of the world. We got a very long way.
It's a pretty narrow path that Dean has to wiggle this stone through to get to that back stone.
6.
Mine's okay.
6.
Whoa.
6, weight's good.
Curl!
5, 6.
Holly Gill reading the line.
Has to curl! Curl!
Needs to curl past the front stone before it gets to the back one.
Yep.
Just by. Oh, that's a very nice stone from Hewitt. Sits it directly in front of the New Zealand shot, and Australia lies 1.
Okay.
Or try and play that. Because that one goes back, I think.
Yeah.
Probably spins out. We kind of
Come
just
to
try and
there.
tap it.
What kind of weight?
Just back 2.
Back
Just
2.
go unlock it.
There?
Yeah.
New Zealand briefly considered the front yellow run in to pick off the red, but looking at the angles, didn't like it. So Anton Hood is just going to follow down the same path that Dean Hewitt just threw, but with maybe 3 or 4 feet more weight. So we just want to unlock the stones. He's just going to try to bump that Australian stone lightly.
Okay. Weight
Back
only.
2.
Weight only.
Back 2.
Whoa! It's on the nose of the
Back
yellow.
Hood likewise needs to curl enough to get by that front yellow stone. I don't think it's going to do it. Just that little bit extra weight makes the line go just that little bit straighter, and he wrecks on the front stone.
They've got that,
Australia
right?
lies 1.
Yeah.
Right, was good.
So what if we ever just went here? Either that or we just come in again.
You ever sit here?
They've still got that though.
Yeah, for 1.
Okay.
At the moment, they've got this for 3.
All right. Yep.
If you ever, yeah. If you ever do this, it's okay. Tap it to there and roll to here.
Australia can't guard everything.
Stick here.
Yep.
After a bit of discussion, it seems they
Just gotta
want
make sure
to
you get
play
inside.
a
It's your shot, yeah?
Oh.
freeze to the second shot rock.
That's a tough shot, actually.
It is a tough
I don't mind
shot.
guarding both.
All right. So take like outside edge.
Even a little more, yeah. Just outside edge.
410.
Yeah. Like at
After
the
taking another look,
left edge of that yellow rock.
Australia reconsiders and says,
410,
oh,
yeah.
tough to get to
Okay.
that back one. Maybe we just guard. Block the
So
path
you
to
want
both
to
of them.
guard?
Want to sit right between the two of them, yeah?
Okay, yep.
You got it.
It will be the guard.
Just outside edge.
At the left edge of that yellow rock.
Oh, okay.
Trying to block the access for New Zealand to promote their own stones into the Australian shot. Tali Gill.
Wait.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Four.
Curl.
Don't think we need to curl.
Curl it if you
Play
can.
the back one.
Now they may indeed be drawing to that backstone after all. It's going to over curl. It's just going to flick the front stone, Pop it across a fraction. I wonder if there's a straight back for New Zealand to pick the red and maybe score 2.
What way?
Heck.
Heck.
Heck should do it.
Where do I want to?
You're just hitting that yellow one on the nose.
On the shirt on the nose, yeah.
Yeah.
Hit the yellow
So
stone
aim
on
for
the
like-
nose.
So we're on the red stone.
Promote it
yeah.
straight back.
Inside of red.
Flip the inside edge of the red stone
Yeah, like the
Push it
inside
out.
edge of the red. Kind of like
and
three
hope
quarters
that you hang around for 2.
3/4 of the red.
on the inside.
On the inside. Okay.
Tough shot, but it's makeable.
Nosing that yellow one.
Key thing for Holly has to get squarely to the nose of that front Yellowstone. To do that, it's going to have to curl past the guard. It's going to have to be delicate weight.
Yep.
Put it on it immediately. It's going to have to work really hard to get by that center guard. Well, he's by now. Great brushing. Now it's actually going to need to curl more to make the shot. Will it finish? Get a little flick.
Shot, Holly.
Oh, it's a score of a single point for New Zealand. Nice shot from Holly Thompson. Didn't get the pair, but did get the one.
Nice sweep.
Anton Hood sweeping almost too effective. Held the line super straight. Single point for New Zealand. They close it up after 5 ends of play at the QRC Winter Games Mixed Doubles Curling, presented to you by Forsyth Barr. It is Australia 5 and New Zealand 3. Finish line is in sight in this game. It's an 8-end game. We are just about to start play in end number 6 as we take a quick peek in at USA Canada. And we see that the USA have jumped in front decisively in this one. They're leading that one now by a score of 7-2 over Canada. So the USA with that 3-point end in the 5th, giving themselves solid control of the game. As Robert Desjardins of Canada. That's a long mountain back for the Canadians. Back to our feature game. Australia, New Zealand.
Okay. Whoa.
Line only.
Wait only. Wait only.
Just to go a wee bit.
Okay, yep. Wait only.
Maybe not.
Wait only.
Wow, that's stretching like a wall.
Fooled Anton a little bit. He thought he needed to go for weight, but lots of carry down this particular track, and that stone slides to the back 8 foot. Second shot.
I got light.
Huh?
I got light on the time, but
95.
I don't know if you gave it a wee shove
okay.
or something.
Middle 12.
All right.
This track.
Sometimes the tracks can
That's
just
nice when I release it like I did.
run slightly differently. Tolly Gill.
I think we're there. One only.
Whoa. Curl if you can. Whoa. Line's good.
Tolly's had a very nice
Shot,
game.
beauty.
Shot tally.
Very good.
Puts those stones into good places early. That sets up ends.
What way? That way?
Yeah, out turn, I think.
Out turn there.
Yeah. Should try and set it up for something.
Big end here.
Yeah.
Well, they're all big now. We're getting near the end of the game, but Australia with last rock here in the 6th. 2 stones guarded. Trying to set up for a multiple point end, which would not guarantee them the win, but would put them in a very strong position as we head for the finish. Anton Hood.
Line's great.
Needs to move one of the Australian stones around and just
Top 4.
give themselves a path into the button.
Yep.
Good looking line.
Whoa.
Bumping.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
They're happy just to freeze the stone in the front.
Three.
That's actually a
Ledge.
very good angle.
Yep.
Now if New Zealand can ever drive that stone right on the nose, they could spring both Australian stones out. But there is the matter of that center guard.
5.
Whoa, line looks tight.
5.
Line's okay.
5.
Straight.
Line only.
Yeah.
Line only. 4.
Yeah, straight.
Intensity on the expression of Tali Gill. Well, stack 'em and rack 'em.
Yeah.
Okay.
4 stones all lined up on the center line. 3 of them nearly
the run?
frozen directly
Yeah.
to each other.
Or you could freeze the back one.
I like the run.
I also like the run. Holly Thompson holding the brush. When the curlers say we're going to play the run, that means they're going to hit a stone in front of the rings and drive it back into the stones in the rings.
Stay here more, Holly.
Anton would like to hit this flush on the nose of the target rock, drive it straight back. Needs to curl a fraction. Just doesn't.
Just a
Got
guard.
the guard. Yep.
So Australia will shift gears now. They say, we've
like
got
that?
2 points.
Fraction less.
Let's guard it up. 2 would be great.
Yeah.
You did have to hit the square though.
2, 3.
Oh, it's
Cue
time
it.
to curl.
2.
Line's okay.
2.
Curl it if you can.
Trying to lock away their
Yes,
2 points
curl.
with a guard.
Curl it, curl it, curl it, curl it. Nice. Anton.
Well, this is a situation you could try the run again, but maybe
Hey,
this
what?
is the time to play
Yeah.
the freeze. And yes, Holly Thompson indicating that's exactly what they're going to try.
Do you like my eyes?
It's not quite as attractive to run your opponent's stone back as it is to run your own stone back. Anton Hood going to try to weld one right on the button in front of that Australian stone in the back of the button.
Okay.
Delicate,
Line only.
delicate shot.
White's really nice.
Yep.
You reckon?
Yep. Whoa. Whoa.
Line only. Pass that top one.
Yeah, it's past them all.
All you got,
Here,
Charlie.
Heavy.
Yeah.
All you got. All you got.
Just a couple of feet
What are we
heavy for
counting?
Anton
2?
Hood.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're going to block off that.
Anton
Sit
moved the
down.
Australian stone, but he
long
didn't
as it
move it
doesn't leave
enough
a
to move
double.
it into second shot or third shot position.
Can we
rather.
dead
So
bury
Australia
to the
still
top
lies
bottom?
2.
Yeah, you probably could.
Okay, let's do that. Top 8 tolerance.
Yep.
Little more. Little more. Yep.
Dean talked about the tolerance. That's the amount of error. If you're going to miss, which way do you want to miss? Do you want to miss heavy? Do you want to miss light?
Line's okay.
Dean said 8
6.
foot is the
Oh, you're a
tolerance.
little
6.
wide.
6.
Line's can.
5, 6.
Whoa.
Trying to take the path of the button away from the New Zealanders.
The line.
Whoa.
Talk to me about
Curl.
line.
Curl if you can.
Get in there.
Dean asking for communication from his teammates. Says, talk to me about the line. Too heavy.
And that's the shot, eh?
Yeah.
That
tell
is
you
the
what,
shot.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Not tolerance.
It's okay.
Australia lies 3. Don't
You like
want
the
to
same
say that
line
the
as
game is
the
on the
man?
line on this
Yeah, I
shot,
like
but
that.
it's
Yeah,
not
that's
far
what
away
it's
from
good
that.
to do, yeah.
Holly Thompson
Just tell you what you've been throwing.
wanting
95.
drawn into the button. Cut the Australians down, and if she can get one into a great spot, maybe set up a steal. But her target area is very small indeed.
Nice weight.
Say whoa. Whoa.
Gotta go for weight.
Whoa.
Gotta go for weight.
Anton Hood thinks it's light.
Whoa.
Well, no, it's not.
Yep.
Gotta go.
Yep, yep, yep.
Whoa.
You do not want to bounce.
Whoa.
That was
Listen, Holly.
overswept. Another sweeping error by
tap.
Team New Zealand.
Tap the back and we get 3.
Okay.
Sorry, Holly.
Just play for the draw.
Yeah.
Play for the draw.
Yeah.
And then we'll sweep it for the tap, yeah?
They're sitting shot, yeah?
We're shot.
Oh, okay.
We're shot. So you can't do any damage.
Okay. So like there? There.
That was so
think
close
there.
to
Yep.
perfection. Stone was just overswept.
90?
Perfectly thrown.
Yeah. We're doing good for timeout.
Just that little bit extra weight,
Sorry about
that
that.
little bit extra bump
Even if I sweep it and we just get 2, that's fine.
exposes the New Zealand shot. Now Tali Gill has a path to it.
Just
she can
outside
move
middle,
it.
I think. Yeah.
Yep.
Australia could
I'll
score
hold it.
3
90.
and maybe even 4.
Go back 4.
Okay, whoa,
Back
whoa,
8. Back 8.
whoa.
Back 8.
Curl!
Line looks close.
Curl! It has to curl!
A lot of weight.
Curl!
Willing the stone to curl, she may have overthrown it. Now it's making a move.
Shot.
Well.
3. Beauty.
3 it is.
It's a tough one to wait for, that one.
Curled just enough. The Australians had to wait and pray and hope that it would curl, and in the end it curled just enough to make the shot.
Okay, they're going to take power play.
3 points on the board for the Australians and giving them a commanding 8-3 lead after 6 here in the QRC Winter Games New Zealand mixed doubles curling playoff. One of these teams will advance to the semi-final tomorrow morning.
How's that?
Yeah.
Australia will be feeling like they're
Nothing
nearly
close.
there, but there's still 2 ends to play.
It's good. Yeah, it's fine.
They're not home and cooled out yet by any means, because New Zealand is now going to use their power play. As we look in at the other playoff game going on, USA with a 7-2 lead over Canada. And now we see the handshakes as Canada concedes defeat, and it will be Joe Polo and Tab Peterson of Team USA. They advance to the semifinals tomorrow morning with a decisive victory over Canada. So we know who 3 of our semifinalists are. Who will be the 4th? Will it be Australia
That should be there.
or will it be New Zealand?
6.
Oh,
6.
it's out there.
Should come down then.
See the stones in the power play alignment. They're not sitting on the center line. They're sitting off on the edge.
Ah.
That gives the team with last rock a higher probability
That's
of
okay.
scoring multiple points.
Okay. 75.
And New Zealand will need every point they can get,
Sorry.
Shot rock.
trailing by 5.
Okay.
Come around the guard.
Yeah. Centre line?
Huh?
Like, you reckon?
Just off centre line, I think.
Will it be quicker down this middle pass? Do you reckon?
Just down centre line. Yeah, 3, 95.
New Zealand ignoring the Australian stone, going to draw around the guard.
Okay, whoa. Wait only. Whoa.
Yeah, go in a minute.
Okay. If it needs it for weight.
Well by the guard. It will finish hard. Anton Hood keeps it moving. Want to keep it moving.
Nice shot, Holly.
Get maximum protection from that guard if they can.
A little more.
Tali Gill holding the brush for Dean Hewitt.
Back line.
Yep.
Back line.
Whoa, whoa.
They can
Got
move
anything?
their own
Yeah.
guard, but they cannot remove it from play. They can nudge it. They just nudge it. Does leave a guard for the New Zealanders to use, but it does expose the New Zealand shots.
Anton, what are you doing?
Sorry, back.
I didn't think you were back.
Guard back, yeah.
That way or that way?
Car coming out, turn.
Good.
Anton Hood saying, let's replace that guard.
There?
Here less. Here less.
Wanting to protect their 2 stones in the rings with the guard.
Bit narrow.
Yeah, weight's there. Weight's real nice. Probably
Okay.
near up.
Looks like it's going to be.
It just needs to die.
Does need
Yeah.
to die. It may over curl.
Got Got the double through the hole.
Not a great guard.
Out-turn peel.
Doesn't cover the stones, and Dean Hewitt immediately says,
What?
we can double them off.
Just the double.
Just the double.
Less.
Routine. Hardly. Big weight from Hewitt. Trying to get to the nose, trying to drive both New Zealand stones out. Don't jam, he pleads.
Good.
Goes across the top, spills the
That's
New Zealand
real good.
stones out sideways. That's a great shot from Dean Hewitt. Still guards for New Zealand to work
I was
with.
wondering if we had to slash it so we didn't look down. That's perfect.
Yeah, because
I
that
didn't
one was
like that at
useless.
all.
Yeah. Sorry.
Bridget will be cursing
New Zealand calls timeout.
Kind of like ignoring it.
My rock is
Yeah.
totally
Just going there.
It's kind of helping jam, but that's all right.
Then that shot's not on.
us. Nah, like that, yeah. Or
A couple of options for the Kiwis. They're talking about throwing a stone right beside the Australian stone. There's a guard just forward of that position.
Just
That's
there.
one option for New
Doesn't
Zealand.
have to be shot.
Another option would be to
It's a
come
short
around
run.
everything and try to go into the back ring.
Did you need me or you just want the ice?
Third option would be to make a
bring it
play
right
on the
here?
red stone
Yeah.
and
Come around.
try to roll
I was
behind.
kind of thinking there,
corner guard.
just because it doesn't give them an angle, but that's just such a short run.
You know,
Where they don't want to go, I don't think, is into this region here.
So
because
run around
there
back
is a
here somewhere?
run, red
as long as
into
you're
yellow.
shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just don't. It's kind of hard that way.
If you're coming in around there, you're not going to be sitting behind them anyway.
I do think
You
their
don't wanna be
first
back
instinct
deep, but I
of
don't-
coming into this
you don't
area
wanna
here is a
give them
good
spot
one.
where it's just an easy slash.
Yeah.
Kind of like that,
Yeah.
yeah, just like biting top.
because they've got that, but
As long as
hard
they
to
don't
get
go too deep, they don't
So
want
that
to
way
be
you need
back
a point.
here.
Yeah.
Wait for ice.
But if they sit
yeah.
here,
here more.
they're probably safe from the
awesome.
Australians
Yeah.
hitting the outside of the red
Thanks,
stone
buddy.
and driving it.
No problem.
I think that'll be the target area, somewhere in this region. It's almost like a snowman, bad snowman. With the other game finishing, things getting very quiet out there at the Maniototo International Curling Rink. Only one game in action right now.
Mine's great.
Mine felt really nice.
Stay close. Yep.
No, don't let it go, Ollie.
No
No,
line
touch
yet.
Still there.
Might
Yeah.
think about taking it deep though and get it behind the guard,
Mine's great. Mine's great.
hoping that it stops.
Think about running it.
Uh-huh.
Pretty good shot. They do
Think
have
so.
cover from the
Even
front
if we clip our
stone.
own, it's not the end of the world. At least you got an open shot. Give me the outturn. Because then if we hit our own, you've got an open hit. You know, the max they can score is 2.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yep.
Dean Hewitt playing the scoreboard.
You throwing peel?
Yep.
I often
that
talk
the
about
answer? You
curling
wanted
being a bit
less.
like poker. You're calculating the risk and the
and left.
reward after every shot.
Should be close. Dead nose.
Dean
Yep.
Hewitt looks at the scoreboard, says, we're up 5. If we clear the front, that'll leave you an open hit, Talia. And best they'll get is 2. Don't want to give them 2, but that would be acceptable.
Yeah!
Hewitt trying to catch up to it. This is close to nose. Blows it by.
Throw it away, which is good.
Well,
There's the jack
now it's an
guard they
interesting
got it,
situation.
A bit earlier.
It's right there.
Yep. It was close. So, yeah.
I think in this situation, they're talking
Was
about the
that the
guard. I
same
think that
last
is a
game
good
if they draw?
call. You could even get a little bit more aggressive
a
and
more.
bring it just
Yeah,
to
go
bite
here
the
more.
front 12 foot. That way you get a guard and a potential counter. But they are definitely going to try and protect their shot rock. When you're trailing by 5, for me, you're trying to get every potential scoring point possible into play. So I'd love to see them just biting the front 12 foot.
Mine's great.
Nice, nice, tight.
Okay. Yep.
short.
That's a hack.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you tick the guard, it's not the end of the world. But let's try and miss it completely. Even if you flash it though, the most I can get is 2. So I think hack.
That's why I would have liked to see the rock in the rings, because if you get an Australian miss, if that guard stone's in the rings, then you get a shot at a 3. Dean Hewitt correctly saying
you can miss the guard by a good half rock.
even if we miss everything, most they're going to get is 2. From the Australian perspective, that's happy days.
Edge of the 4?
I think middle 4 foot.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think you need to get too carried away.
Tali can see about half the
Looking
rock.
for a 60.
Well, I've thrown that box.
55 is good too.
Yeah.
Nice and straight, you got it.
Anton, Holly can only watch. Hope that they get a chance to score 2 at least.
Just through.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
You sure?
Yep! Whoa!
You sure?
Coming on nice, yeah.
Yep! Whoa, whoa!
Easily by the guard.
Shot.
Oh, another fine shot from Tali Gill.
I'm gonna play, Holly. Great throw. I was just really conscious of not picking that guard.
Yeah, trust
Good
me,
shot.
babe.
That's a fist bump worthy shot from Tali Gill.
I thought you were fracturing down, so I was just a little conscious.
Yeah,
Good
the
throw.
line was good. I
good
think
throw.
I was actually a little bit outside. That's probably why it was.
Okay. Yeah. Good throw. That was really, really nice.
Thanks.
Sure was.
Just could have gone a bit more.
Hey?
Yeah, should have gone a bit more. But that's
So New
okay.
Zealand forced to take a single point here.
It's
Gonna
in a
have to
weird
draw
spot now, yeah.
a piece of the red 4-foot circle to score to keep the game alive. Holly Thompson.
Club's nice.
Whoa. Wait, Ernie. Whoa.
Anton Hood in charge of the distance judgment with the brush in his hand. Looks pretty good. Yep, no doubt about it. Very nice shot from Holly Thompson.
Shot, Holly. Great sweep.
Full into the red. Nice sweep from Anton Hood. Nice throw from Holly Thompson.
One deal. You have to win it.
Hey?
You have to win it.
Well, New Zealand is actually going to concede defeat, so they take the single point, but they're saying that deficit is too much for us. So,
I was like, what?
as they're entitled to, they concede defeat to the Australians, so Australia will advance into the semi-final. Solid performance from Team Australia. Fell behind early, but you can see in the second, third, and fourth, then that big steal of 2 in the fourth, giving them control, and then that 3 in the sixth, opening up the gap, which ultimately was enough for them to prevail by a final score of 8-4. So Australia becomes our 4th semi-finalist. So now we know who our semi-finalists are. Australia will slot into that final playoff spot in the semi-finals. They will advance to play against Sweden in one semi-final. USA, they defeated Canada, so they advance. They will play Korea in the other semi-final. The semi-final winners tomorrow morning will go on to the gold medal match tomorrow afternoon, and we will have it all for you live on Sky Sport. Closely fought contest, disappointment for the New Zealanders. Australia, I'm sure, delighted winners. Let's have a word with both teams.
Australia was playing so well. Difficult team to beat on the day, yes.
Yeah, they're not 4th in the world for nothing. They played really well, and we're unlucky sometimes, but you make your own luck. And yeah, we just hope they go on to win it now. So the New Zealand team can't win it, the Australian team might as well.
You can be proud of your performance this week. What did you take away from the week?
Well, it's been some great experience playing against some great teams. Like we came into this tournament with a goal of winning 4 games, and we accomplished that goal. So that's great. And just next year we'll just keep trying harder. Hopefully get back here and do even better next year. So.
Good effort. Well played, guys.
Team New Zealand eliminated, but a fine tournament for both of them. And now we'll have a chance to have a word with the winning team, Team Australia.
Excellent performance, guys. Can you keep the momentum into the semi-final?
Yeah, hopefully. We're going to try our best. But that was a really tough game. I mean, the scoreboard actually didn't reflect the quality of that game. Charlie had to make some really good shots there to get us out of a lot of trouble there. You know, they were looking at getting 3 or 4 in a couple ends there, and we managed to bail out. So we're a little fortunate in a couple ends, but, you know, worked out in the right way, fortunately.
Where do you think it did turn in the game? Where was the turning point?
Sure, probably fourth end break when we got the lead after the fourth end break and just get our momentum back, and still, you know, tough battle each end, but yeah, just keep finding it out.
And Dean, a bit of a spectacular tumble there. How are you feeling? You're not damaged going forward, I hope.
No, it was actually, I don't feel anything, which is really surprising. I said to Talia before this competition, actually, I was due for a tumble at some stage. I haven't had one all year, so I was due, and that's when it was on TV, so that's always a good one, isn't it?
Do you have a reputation for tumbling? Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, once every year I have one, but, you know, of course it has to be the one on TV, but, you know, it was unfortunate that my broom just touched the rock, so I just had to slap the rock away straight away. I didn't want to get involved with clattering those rocks at all, so, yeah.
Well, it was a semi-stylish tumble, but what's your plans for tomorrow?
Oh, well, you know, have a good night's sleep, take one game at a time. Got an 8 a.m. draw tomorrow, so it's nice and early, but luckily we've got a good amount of time to have some dinner and regroup.
Yep.
Well played, guys. Congratulations.
Team Australia advancing to tomorrow's semi-final, which we will have for you live on Sky. Australia versus Sweden at the QRC Winter Games New Zealand Mixed Doubles Curling Tournament, presented by Forsyth Barr.